Hello, everybody. It's Ron and Hope Unfiltered, real, raw, and relevant. And guess what? We are going to get real. We're going to get raw. We're going to tell the truth today.
Go ahead. I'm going to let you roll with this one.
Today, we are going to talk about healthy habits, our healthy habits. And Ron said, wow, that's going to be a short podcast for you, Hope. Your column is very short. So one of his healthy habits is being very humble, as you can tell. Humility is really high up there on his list because he has everything right. He does everything right.
I was honoring you.
He doesn't miss a beat.
I said, you need to roll with this one.
Nobody is as holy.
You need to roll with this one.
Nobody is as disciplined.
Yep.
Nobody is as healthy. Telling you. I don't know how I sit this close to him.
Let's talk about your cheat days.
I don't understand how I sit this close to you and I'm not fully slain in the spirit.
And your meal plan. Let's talk about your cheat day. I want to hear that part. That's number 1, 2. That's number 4. So tell us what you do on cheat day.
I cheat. I eat pizza.
So what do you eat on your non-cheat day?
Egg white omelets.
Oh, baby.
And boiled eggs in the morning. Boiled eggs. Look at the 2 boiled eggs.
I can't even look at them.
Ron, you know it's true.
I can't even look at y'all.
You do a shake in the morning, a protein shake, right?
I do.
And it's more calories than my 2 boiled eggs. So.
Boiled eggs and French toast.
I don't eat French toast because I don't cook in the morning.
And boiled eggs and French toast will help you.
I do not cook in the morning, people.
With a waffle and a couple of pancakes and a biscuit with some gravy.
Okay. All right. You're going to reap what you sow, sir.
All right. What healthy habits we want to talk about first?
No,
it's not dietary.
I have none.
It's not dietary.
Need to, you know what? Watch this.
No, it's not dietary.
I'll just leave the podcast today.
You have great healthy habits, but just not many dietary great healthy habits. But
I don't.
You want to talk about? Oh, you're talking about lifestyle healthy habits. Okay.
Ron, I hate you sometimes.
We can do that.
I do.
We can do that.
I really do.
Let's do lifestyle.
Sometimes I wish I could just punch you.
Throat?
Yes, in the throat.
In the throat.
Till you choke.
If you throat punch me, I'll do the leg sweep on you. You know how I teach my grandkids to sweep the leg?
Yes. Ron teaches our grandkids to knock people out at school. He teaches them to sweep the leg.
I teach to sweep the leg.
He says they mess with you.
Like the guy on Karate Kid.
You just sweep the leg.
Sweep the
and I'm
leg.
like, Ron, what if they do it? And then say that my man said.
Zayden had somebody bullied him, and I taught him how to sweep the leg. So he came back. Next time I saw him, I said, how'd it go? He said, man, I swept the leg.
That's terrible. That is terrible.
He grinned.
Now, everybody listening, that's not a really good, healthy habit.
Let's talk about them for real.
Some of the things that we've put in practice in our life
and they seem so small. They're going to sing. When I'm reading through them, the things that are written down here, and they're like, people are like, I tuned in to hear that, but if you were to do them, they change things. What's number one? And we don't cheat on these very often.
And everybody listening, yours may not be what ours is, but to us, some of these things have become like religious because we don't
violate them.
No, we don't violate them because it makes or breaks our relationship. It makes or breaks our peace. It makes or breaks our marriage, doesn't it?
And these aren't habits as like, God, I got to go do this.
No, we enjoy it.
No, they start off.
I enjoy pancakes.
Yeah, they start off being maybe discipline, but they end up being a delight because they become a part of your life and ingrained as a part of the culture of how you live. But we spend the first part of our morning. Of course, we travel. Of course, there's times we're not together. You know, and if somebody out there works first shift and your spouse works second shift, you don't have to write us an email.
Yeah, like I said, these can be different for you. But
you have to do it your way.
Yes, But we are intentional about spending 1 hour with each other.
In the mornings.
Dedicated time in the morning.
And now here again, I know some of you, oh, that's amazing. I bet they just seek God to get, we're
No.
not praying. We're not, we're not
We hadn't
reading,
even combed our
we're not
hair,
reading
really.
a book. It is literally get out of the bed. And it's the first one there gets the coffee for the other one. And if you go, you bring me a cup of coffee. If I get there first, I bring you a cup of coffee. And we have a place where we sit down. It's a little love seat. And we just
sit. Drink
and
our
we talk.
We don't talk at first.
Sometimes, no, it takes you
the
longer.
first 10, 15 minutes, we just
I get up a little
grunt.
quicker than she does. It takes her just a minute, and that's when we laugh and cut up. I'll call her, you going to be a meanie today? I'll say all the, and you're like, no, I just woke up, But those things are now comical and they're funny. But what it does is it sets the tone of how our life is going to be. You get me first.
Yeah.
You don't get the worst of me. You don't get the worn out of me when I get home. You don't get my mind is shot and my word tank is empty and I have nothing else to say to anybody.
And we plan our day. We plan our day. We exchange information about the day. Like, well, today I have to, and so I won't be home till 7. Or so nothing takes us by surprise that day because we've already sat that morning. We've talked about it, your schedule, my schedule, and where we're going to eat that night. What do you want for dinner?
See, I love that.
That kind of stuff.
So we started out together and we talk about how we're going to end it together.
Mm-hmm.
And our middle son, which is the only one in the house on the West Coast living with us, was just able to get his first place to live. And now we're literally going to be empty nesters for the first time in 26 years.
Yeah, you'll probably never get a home cooked meal. Ever. The countdown is on for how many times you will get home cooked meals.
And I'll miss that then because you can cook. You can cook. And but long and short of it is, we didn't do it because we said, oh, we're going to be by ourselves one day. But with the exception of missing our son and all of our kids who are a blessing to our household, the fact is we're not going to enter empty nesters as strangers because we have already initiated that we have life outside of the role of parenting.
Right.
That we live and we
actually
invest
like
in one
each
another.
other.
Yeah, we like each other. We like to be
Except when
together.
I want to hate you and throat punch you.
You love me then, though. You love me then.
It's true.
It's just different.
It's true.
You'd love me then. Because I see sometimes you hit me and you laugh. You hit me and you laugh while you're doing it. So the first fruits of your day, investing it together, I said, what do people say they enjoy most about our podcast?
Our banter.
The going back and forth like we do. How did we get there? By hours of drinking cups of coffee in the morning and getting to know one another's life. We don't usually handle big problems there. We don't usually delve into our finances or our retirement programs or our bad conversation on the phone with one of our kids. We don't usually handle that there. We simply drink coffee and be together.
Yeah.
And
we talk about that day.
And you know what? And if I don't get it, I feel like I've missed something.
Yeah.
I've always tell you, I feel like I miss something. If I don't I have a hug that I love right after you get up because you don't feel like fighting me. I don't get any pushback. You're usually warm. And you come over there in your pajamas, and I have this little certain hug that we do. It's our hug that we do every morning. If I don't get it, I'll come back about 2 o'clock and say, I never got my hug today. I'll come in there and say, I never got my hug today. So drinking coffee every morning. Let's talk about one more before we get to some of our great sponsors. I'll let you talk about the second one.
All my exercise. We're talking about natural, spiritual habits that we have formed. Ron Carpenter has mastered the exercise. He exercises on vacation. He exercises on Sunday. He exercises on Sunday. Yes, you exercise when we're traveling. He will get up early if we have a flight and go exercise. Me, I'm sorry. I'm the la-la loser. Mm-hmm. I'm the loser on this one.
You were the cheerleader, baby.
Yes, I have good muscle memory. My muscles remember. but they are not active right now in this discipline. But Ron Carpenter, you get the medal because you do it. And you know what? You always have. As long as I've ever known you.
Let's be truthful. Genetically, we'll have to ask God questions when we get there. You tend to have pretty good checkups. You tend to have pretty good blood pressure readings and cholesterol numbers and all that, even though, let's just put it this way.
Even though I'm not in the gym.
No, you're not. You are not a disciplined exerciser. You're not one of that. I do not think you live unhealthy.
No, I don't.
I think you live healthy, but you're not a gym rat. And so I have a little bit more I'm fighting. And a lot of it used to be back in the day because I wanted to be in shape, but now a lot of it is because I don't want to take this medicine, I don't want to take that medicine, and I want to try to have lifestyle habits where I can keep these numbers straight.
And you want to hear me
And it gets
whistle
harder to
now.
do.
You like me to,
I want to hear you whistle.
when
wanna
I
hear
see you
whistle.
coming
Yep.
around the corner.
As long as you keep whistling, I'm fine. If you ever stop whistling, I'm in trouble.
Well, one
But you
great
gotta whistle.
thing is because I'm not a gym rat, there is Noom.
So you're going to segue into Noom because I don't do that. I do this. Go ahead.
Well, losing weight can be tough and overwhelming. And listen, most of the time when we decide to do it, it's usually not just about the number on the scale. I started gaining my weight not really gaining, but I couldn't get stubborn weight off in my 40s.
It was baby weight.
Yeah, it was in my
A lot of
40s
baby
and
weight.
hormonal. That changes everything. I was sluggish. I wanted to feel better. And Noom has a totally different approach to weight loss. It's psychologically driven. It helps recognize your triggers. Do y'all listening? Do y'all have triggers like if you're mad, you're going to eat. If you're depressed, you're going to eat. If you're excited, even you want to go out and have a great meal. Whatever. That's what's so amazing about Noom. It also provides coaching and daily lessons, teaches you how to recognize your triggers. I just love it. Noom has also helped more than 3.6 million people lose weight, y'all. You can choose your level of support from 5-minute check-ins to personal coaching. Everybody's health journey is different. So your daily lessons are personalized to you and your goals. Progress isn't a straight line. And off days, can somebody say amen, are totally okay. Noom Weight will help you get back on track. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's weight loss psychology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com/Ron and Hope. That's NOOM.com/Ron and Hope to sign up for your trial today. And check out Noom's first ever book, The Noom Mindset, a deep dive into the psychology of behavior change, available to buy now wherever books are sold.
Thank you, Noom. We love you guys.
We love you, Noom.
We appreciate your sponsorship.
And I
we really
thank
do.
you for that amazing, amazing, amazing help to us who do not enjoy the gym. There you go.
So let's talk about that. Honestly, as you get older, you find out your body won't do things naturally that it used to do, so you have to be somewhat more intentional. And out of all the banter and all the kidding around, you and I are 100 times healthier than we were 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
100 times healthier.
Well, because we've been intentional. Another healthy habit of ours is what we eat. I don't fry food.
Nope, ever.
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 It was just a choice we made.
We don't salt food.
Years ago, I don't
We don't salt
the
food.
salt shaker in my food. I don't do that. What else?
We're
Food-wise.
pretty.
We don't drink our calories.
Most of our stuff's pretty fresh. We don't do a whole lot of canned and prepackaged stuff. When you cook, especially, it's usually fresh meat. It's usually fresh vegetables. And I'm gonna tell you,
frozen
I'm gonna tell you,
vegetables.
here's the relearning for her and me. I came from a farm where you eat whatever is put in front of you,
Yeah.
and don't say a word. And I learned that lesson the hard way. You came from having to cook like that, so you and I together, you cooked and I ate like a horse. But the fact is, it was about the time we were 40, we had to bring somebody in our life to teach us how to recook. Mm-hmm. You had to relearn literally how to cook because you were taught, grab the salt,
Fat back,
and make it taste.
bacon.
We make it great
Ooh,
to the
so
taste buds,
good.
but it's not great for the body.
My mama makes the best. And sometimes I just get a hankering for that cube steak, that fried cube steak and gravy, rice and gravy. So good.
So bad for you. And you know, when I I didn't realize how foods were made until we brought this trainer into our life, and he was a nutritionist and started helping us with the way we eat, which at that time was terrible. And I was the kind of guy I always worked out, but I ate whatever I wanted to. Well, that you still can't sustain that. Mm-hmm. You can't work out a bad diet. And so, you know, I never knew, when I was growing up, I just knew red eye gravy was good on grits.
You didn't know it was grease?
I didn't know it was the fat from the pig.
Right. And a little bit of coffee in it.
And a
little bit of flour.
I didn't.
Wee.
I just never knew. You know, I never knew when my grandmama would hand me crackers and potted meat.
Ron, you did not eat that.
Until I learned to read. And then when I learned to read and find out it was duck lips and chicken feet and everything else, I was like, you know what? I better not eat this no more.
Potted meat.
We used to go fishing and put treat and Spam
Vina sausages.
in there with mustard.
Oh, God.
And all that stuff, and we'd eat that, and then fried bologna. And then I went to a slaughterhouse one day from the hog farm I worked on and find out what
goes in
hot dog wieners and bologna is made out of and how they arrive at that concoction.
Innards,
and then
leftover parts.
I sit here and I'm looking back like, man, I stuffed myself full of that. Then I'm not turning this into a nutrition and health show, though I believe in those things deeply. Then I wonder why we feel so bad.
Yeah, it's true.
And why we're sick and why our bodies are debilitated and this and that and the other, when I realized what it was we were putting in them. So we, at least this time, one things we're not afraid to invest in is food. And I've seen people that'll buy nice cars and buy nice everything and buy cheap food.
Yeah.
And the fact is, you and I,
and wonder why the kids are ADD and can't sleep. And
we have shifted on that.
Yeah.
Another thing is we do healthy habit. We don't drink our calories. Folks, let me tell you something. Look at every YouTube out there. Look at every nutritionist out there. Look at everything. I'm not saying they're wrong, but look at them. It comes down to this, caloric deficit.
Yep. Burn more than you
You create
eat.
a caloric deficit, you lose weight. And when you have more calories than you burn, you gain weight, period. That's bottom line. And so we've learned to not drink your calories. We drink a ton of water.
Yeah.
I used to drink a ton of soda and couldn't understand why I couldn't sleep at night. Remember that?
Yeah.
How many Mountain Dews would I drink a day?
A lot.
I had a Mountain Dew in my hand from morning to night.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I guzzled
So
them.
you
It's
were-
that I
you were
sipped on
basically
them all day.
high.
That's what the doctor told me. And so I went there. I was having massive sleep issues.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor began to ask me some questions and asked me about that. And I told him, he said, son, you're high.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first decided that I'm not going to drink sodas like that no more. You remember my withdrawals? I felt like I had the flu.
Yeah, you felt sick.
When I was coming off that, I literally felt like I had one of the worst cases of the flu. My whole body hurt. And because my body was so used to that high of that caffeine constantly running through my veins. So many healthy habits. We could spend the rest of the show here.
All day.
But this is not a nutritional show. I don't have the certification to do that. I just know we've had people come into our life and help us with some new healthy habits. But we invest in each other. We invest in each other first. And then we tried to let some healthy habits come over into the nutritional part of our life. What's some other things you got?
Date night. Let
me ask you a question. Do you love them like I do?
I do.
I mean, like, if I know I'm carrying you out that night, I mean, I'm like constantly looking at okay, I got 2 more meetings. Okay, I got 1 more meeting. It'll take me about 40 minutes to get home. I really do.
And our little times together, our Monday day off, we try not to let that be invaded with anything. Sometimes
Monday morning
it
on our
does.
day off, oh, this is so gross.
Oh, Lord.
Greasy, no bath. I don't even know sometimes if we brush our teeth first. You throw on a hat.
And we'll go eat
I'll
breakfast
just throw
together.
some water in my hair and we go to this country place in the middle of nowhere and go eat this country breakfast.
Speaking of healthy habits.
And sit there and drink we don't eat bad.
No, I eat an egg white omelet.
We don't eat bad. We don't eat carbs, no toast, no pancakes, nothing like that. We eat a good protein-filled breakfast.
But I don't have to make it.
And we sit there and drink a gallon of coffee and we ain't even had a bath. Nothing. But It sounds so, people think.
You know what a habit is?
What?
It's something that you were intentional about. It really is, whether you like to admit that or not, but it's something you chose to do over and over and over, and it became a habit. We're talking about our healthy habits. We chose to spend time together. We chose to drink coffee every morning together. I choose my special time with the Lord. I know when mine is. I choose the music I listen to. And those are the healthy habits in our life. You choose to go to the gym. Nobody drags you to the gym. You don't.
I don't feel like going to the gym.
But you choose to go. Mm-hmm. Right? And that is what we're talking about. People who don't even go to the doctor or go to the dentist for regular check. Those are choices that you make. I choose to take care of my teeth. Mm-hmm. I choose to take care of my skin. Mm-hmm. I choose to wear sunscreen because I want to be healthy. I can't expect God to do something for me that I won't do for myself. Healthy habits. What would you say your number one healthy habit is?
Well, there's different divisions. It's apples and oranges. I have healthy habits with God. I have healthy habits with you. I have
what about
healthy
with the
habits
Lord?
Nutritionally. Hope I don't have. I can get up anytime I need to, but I'm not a 5:30 in the morning get up and go spend an hour with God. That's not me. 5:30 in the morning would not be my best time with God. But I have different times, different days that I give to Him, and it's God's time. When I'm riding down the road, most of the time, we have a fair amount of driving we have to do here and back. And I try to give that time to God. I pray without ceasing. I talk to God a lot. I don't always believe it has to be a 8:45 to 9:30 I'm with God, But one thing that I'm going to say has saved me from seasons in life and things that the enemy had designed to probably take Ron Carpenter out is I have always kept my relationship with the Lord. Now, I'm going to fuss because I can say that in the middle of a pastor's conference, and he can say, it's just, tell me how you built this church. Tell me how you prospered. Tell me. And when I go back to guys, the greatest thing I have learned is no matter what I was doing, I never lost my personal time with God.
It's foundational.
That is the greatest soul habit I have because my relationship with you flows out of that. Mm-hmm. My ministry flows out of that.
Everything.
My personal character, integrity, and disciplines flow out of that. There are things I won't do because of my relationship with God. Yeah. There are lines I won't cross because there are lines I will never cross with you, not just because of my relationship with you, because of my relationship with Him. And so that is foundationally the greatest personal healthy habit that I have is that I try to live such a life, not just a day, but a life where God has the preeminent place in my life. I try to. And it would be very hard for me to sit here and tell this to everybody with you sitting here who you live with me. Right. And your office, when we're not at home, is right next door to me. You see how I live. Certainly I fall short. Certainly I miss the mark. Mm-hmm. But your husband loves God. I don't think you've ever doubted the fact that your husband loves God. And in fact, when you were worried about me, one of the things that gave you peace was, I know my husband loves God. Yeah.
I think another personal, foundational, healthy, holy habit would be our giving. I don't want to say just tithing because tithing to me is not even an option. No. It's just not that 10%.
Tithing is just we do
no
it.
Question.
You just do it,
But on top of that,
and it's not just giving to church.
Yeah, our generosity to our family. I'm extremely generous. You're extremely generous to our parents. I feel like that's my responsibility to our children, to our grandchildren, to our friends. We are extremely generous to our friends. I'm extremely generous to the needy, to poor people, to people in need. I'm extremely generous to our church. I just think that is so healthy because it keeps you from being selfish. Number one, it's a command of God. Number two, it keeps you from being selfish, from being money hungry.
You can't be a giver and be greedy simultaneously.
No, because you know it's not your own. Anyway,
in fact,
it really is not your own.
I believe God designed giving to break the power of greed.
Yeah.
The greatest thing a greedy person can do to start breaking that over their life is to start giving and start operating in generosity. Mm-hmm. Can I fuss right here again? Can I fuss?
Are you a fusser today?
Yeah, I want to fuss. Don't broadcast to the world every time you do a good deed. Hope, does that bother me?
It does bother you. When people put on Instagram how much they gave to it.
Well, don't.
Whatever.
Jesus specifically spoke against that. Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. And if you do things to be seen by others, you already have your reward.
Yeah.
And the times we bless people, we don't tell a soul.
Right.
Because when you tell somebody, I don't know how much of it was for them or was it for you to get to tell everybody you did it.
Yeah.
The fact is, bless people on the down low. When we give somebody a car, we gave her a car. We don't do that. They just end up with a car. And we've bought many vehicles. We've sent people to college and never uttered their names. And we never will.
Yeah.
We have given away a house one time. We know we try to do things in such a way where the eyes that saw it were the eyes of God. And number two, it preserves the dignity of the recipient.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that?
But as far as a habit, it being a holy, healthy habit, if that becomes your priority, it automatically takes the focus off of you. Mm-hmm. If it is a priority and it's not just an event, a major event, oh, look what I did, I gave blah, blah, blah. It's just something that you do daily. It's like John Maxwell said, like I mentioned in the last podcast, you always give more than you take.
One of our biggest things is waitresses and waiters.
Oh, I love doing that.
Because, why? Now, listen, in very nice restaurants, there are career waiters and waitresses.
Career.
Highly
Here's
trained.
the word of the day, career.
I didn't say career.
You did? You did.
There are career waitresses and waiters.
Waitresses. Okay.
Career waiters and waitresses that do very well. I remember we talked to one time up in Lake Tahoe, and when they told me what they did a year, it blew my mind. I'm like, wow. But a lot of those in that industry are in transition. A lot of them are in college trying to make it through. A lot of them are trying to run a home or a single mom who's taking an extra job. And I'm telling you, I almost go full-blood redneck when I see somebody wearing out a waitress or a waiter. I can't hardly take it. And the fact is, rarely do we not bless one above and beyond.
Oh, yeah.
Rarely. I mean, and it don't really have
That's a joy.
It doesn't have anything to do with their performance.
No.
And
because most of them don't want to be there in the first place.
And so that's one of the areas. And we've had one place where I had a $4 breakfast and I tipped them $100. And the woman jumped the counter and ran out in the parking lot and hugged me. And we had the other time where I gave somebody $200 and all I ate was like a hamburger. And I remember the kid came running there with tears in his eyes that needed $200 to finish his college application.
Wow.
And I remember just sitting there with tears, who are you? And I'm like, it don't matter who I am. Just, I know the Lord loves you, and I was told to do that.
But see, Ron, if you had not taken me for that bad Waffle House breakfast that morning with that waffle that you made fun of me at the beginning of episode 7, season 2, you wouldn't have had the opportunity.
But you don't have to
for
get
God
a waffle.
to speak to you
They
to
serve
bless
other
that woman.
things. They serve other things.
You know what?
besides the
Sometimes
waffle.
you can have a cheat day, and I'm so grateful for the cheat days. Aren't you glad? That is a holy habit, a wonderful habit we've developed.
Last thing, what's another great habit?
Don't let the sun go down. Yes, it is. And then we do it sometimes gritting our teeth, that we will have to sit down and finish and have the hard conversations at night, problem solving, because we are that intentional about our love for each other that we do not let that festering get in our heart.
You do projects when you're frustrated, don't you?
When I'm mad, you want to just call it what it is.
When she's mad at me, she starts a project. She'll go into it, start cleaning out a closet, start restuffing something, start rearranging things.
It's the way I process. I have to work, like be busy.
And I'll go and I'll just like, baby, would you just come in here a minute? Just come. I'll grab her hand. Will you just come here? Let me talk to you just a minute.
Would you let me finish my project?
It takes work, but she always does. She comes in there, and we always fix it.
Yep.
Sometimes we get there easily. Sometimes it's a journey, but we always fix it. I hope that's one of the best things we've ever done, honestly, because you can take something not even worth fighting over, and all of a sudden two people mad for 6 months.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And it keeps coming, and because it's not been resolved, it keeps coming up as ammunition in every subsequent argument. They keep reaching back to that.
Yeah, because it was never dealt with.
And I'm just like, go sit down and talk the thing out. And we try to admit we're wrong when we're wrong, and we, this and that and other. Like you corrected me in the last one. You said, no, you weren't embarrassed. You said you didn't feel bad. You didn't want other people to see. I'm like, I stopped a minute. I said, you're right. You're right. I didn't. I enjoyed being blessed, but I didn't want nobody to know about it. So, the fact is, we have tried to employ, resolution. Come to a place of resolution, which is almost always going to be compromise.
Yeah.
Nobody goes in to trying to resolve anything with all the chips on their side of the table.
Every time. Yeah.
Well, that's part of our marriage conference. The part of a conversation is not to win.
Yeah.
Part of a conversation is resolution. Let's solve it. And have we always done good at it? No. But I think right now, times we've had to do it, we could probably put on a clinic in some ways about how to just sit down and negotiate that thing out until we both come away knowing we've made the best possible decision.
Well, the whole goal for this podcast was to share
our life.
Some of the things that we've employed that are healthy in the spirit and in the natural, and to say to everybody listening that it doesn't just happen. Being healthy in your walk with the Lord does not just happen. You don't wake up one day and say, wow, I have a great relationship with God. Being healthy in your health journey doesn't just happen. You have to push the French fries away sometime or another. To be healthy in your relationships doesn't just happen. You have to make the necessary changes. You have to study. You have to learn. You have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to hurt a little, to be disciplined, to give up your right to be right and do what you know to be right for things to be healthy in your life. So we just wanted to share some of ours. We're not perfect. Nope. Hope still likes French toast every now and then. And Ron loves the gym. Ron, don't start. Here we go. He always says that. Mm-hmm. I like French toast, but I choose not to eat it.
You know what I really love? I don't know that I've ever, if I could go order anything I want to for breakfast,
pizza.
I don't know if it'd be French toast.
You'd order pizza.
Man, I love fast food.
You like pizza.
I don't sweets, and they ordered a big cheesecake the other night while we were down at that convention, and we ordered cheese. And I took 2 bites. It's good.
Yeah.
But man, give me a double cheeseburger or give me a pizza all day long.
Shamalama
That is so difficult. Most people have a sweets weakness. I'd rather have.
Me too.
I'd rather have a Whopper any day than a piece of pie.
Chips. I could eat a whole bag of chips, but I choose not to.
You don't eat many chips anymore like you used to.
Nope,
you really don't. Well,
y'all, thank you for being here today. Ron and Hope Unfiltered, real, raw, relevant. If you like this content, share it. Share it with a friend. Share it with a coworker. Subscribe it subscribe it. Subscribe to
Subscribe.
it on
Wait a
YouTube.
minute. We got a new word right here. Subscribe it.
Subscribe it. Subscribe it, please, on YouTube and like it and share it. We love you so much. Hey, what about this? You like our new merch?
Need to get some. We got a bunch of stuff.
This is new redemption merch right here.
Crazy jackets we just got.
We got some jackets. We got lots of hats.
On the website?
Amazing. Yeah.
myredemption.cc. You can check that out too. Love you guys. We'll see you later.